Hey, Dooberteers, welcome back to the program. I'm super excited for our guest today. Melissa is somebody that's just a badass in animal rescue. She's been doing this for so many years, helped out organizations, which she can talk about in Puerto Rico, which is a very unique situation for animal rescue, obviously being an island. And now she's doing amazing stuff at FEE as well. So, Melissa, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm really excited to have you as well, and I'm really looking forward to this conversation. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about you and what you do these days?
Sure. I am a mom. I live on a farm, first and foremost. I work for FI, which is a GPS tracking company. I run their rescue partnerships. So we provide GPS tracking collars and microchips to all of our rescue and shelter partners, which is just so much fun and such a great program. I also work with Upshot Dog Rescue in Puerto Rico, as you mentioned. That's my passion, the dogs and cats in Puerto Rico. I went there on a trip one time with my husband and could never look away. So we brought some dogs home, and I've been bringing dogs home ever since.
I was going to say, like, for a lot of people, that's what it was. I mean, it was an event, it was a dog, it was a situation. I mean, take us back to that point where you pivoted, like, your focus and you found your passion.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've always been very passionate about animals. Grew up on a farm. We always had horses and animals running all around. So that's always been my passion, but really got involved heavily with animal welfare after I graduated college. And my boyfriend at the time, who's now my husband, we went on a trip to Puerto Rico, and we were sitting on the beach, and two little dogs came up to us and hung out with us the whole day. And, they were covered in ticks and fleas, and you could tell they had been beat up, but they were so sweet. And then just spending the whole week there, they followed us everywhere. And so, of course, they started feeding them, which
Of
was
course.
and then, just started asking around. There was dogs everywhere, but these two were specifically just like following us, so focused on us, asking around, like, are these owned? Whose dogs are these? And no, they're street dogs. The one lady at the local like bar said, yeah, I feed them the scraps, they come around.
Sure.
So then by the end of the week, we were running to the vet and getting them health certificates, and I already booked them flights on the plane, and we flew home with them. So that's kind of what started this. And then I couldn't just never forget that. And got involved with the SADO project at the time, and was just volunteering, fostering, processing applications for them, transporting dogs whenever they needed help. And then it just kept growing and growing and growing, and until they hired me.
They finally said, we might as well just pay you, right? Like,
Yes,
it's
yes,
your passion, clearly.
yeah, yeah. So then I went and worked with them, and which was amazing. It was a great organization. We flew, I don't know if you're familiar with the SADO project, but they're one of the larger organizations in Puerto Rico. And they really focus on flying dogs off the island up to the Northeast area. And they charter planes, so they're doing large transports, 80 to 200 animals at a time. So it's a lot of coordinating and a lot of planning and a lot of vetting and making sure everything lines up. So we did that for 4 or 5 years. And then now I'm at FI and running the rescue program. And it's actually a cool story how I got to FI from the SADO project. I don't know if you want to hear it now.
Yeah, please.
Okay. So when I was at the SADO project, I was the adoption foster manager there. We had a dog that we flew up, and it was going to a rescue partner, like a shelter that was going to take some of the dogs that we flew up. He got in their yard and immediately jumped their 6-foot fence and went missing in the middle of winter. So he was lost for 30 days.
Mm.
And I felt so hopeless. All we could do, we worked with Buddha Dog Rescue, who's like my friend. She's a local dog tracker and recovery specialist, and she's amazing. But we had no sightings. We had no idea where this dog went. So nowhere to really like go off of. The only thing we could do was hang flyers. So we just printed thousands of flyers, and volunteers just kept expanding our radius of where we were hanging them, praying that someone would see him and give us a call. 30 days later, when we had all just about given up, a police officer saw him on a golf course at 5 a.m. and was like, I think I just saw your dog that's been on the flyers everywhere.
Yeah.
So sure enough, Nicole from Buddha Dog and I flew up there. This was up in New York, and camped out at the golf course that night. He showed up that night, but wouldn't go in our trap. So we knew he was alive. So then we had to come back the next night. We set up this huge enclosure with a camera and a laser that would close behind him. She's just so amazing. She's got like all the technology.
Toys, yeah.
Yeah. And so he showed up the next night. We camped out in our cars again, and went in. And then the door slammed and we got him. And it was just like the best feeling ever. And he's went on to get adopted and he's living a great life. But that 30 days was the worst 30 days of my life because it just consumed my life. And I was getting calls from people saying like, I have your dog, send me money if you want him back. Or, like people were being really mean and taking advantage of our posters,
Yeah.
trying to like scam us out of things. So it was just horrible. And so at that point I reached out to Fi and I was like, I need these GPS tracking collars for my foster dogs. And they donated some. So it was just an amazing partnership, that they gave us some to use. And then I just thought it was such a great program. And it's such an amazing collar that can be used to help so many of us that are working so hard to save these dogs that are scared and being transported and in new homes and not really bonded with anybody. It's just such a great tool to be able to have on them. And if they do get loose, you can find them quickly. So it's just kind of combining everything. And so luckily, Fi eventually offered me a job as well. So here I am.
I think that's pretty awesome. I mean, your husband must be like, clearly you found your passion, right? I mean, he was the boyfriend when you were doing the Puerto Rico stuff. Did he,
Yep.
I got to ask, did he think you were crazy when you said, we're taking these dogs, we're going to get them cleaned up, we're taking them home?
Yeah, I do think he thought I was crazy because he grew up with no animals.
Okay.
And now he lives on a farm. But I definitely do. But I think it was part of he liked my craziness.
Yeah, right, right. He's dating you. He's with you for a reason, right? And he's like, all right.
Crazy, but there's something unique here. But yeah, I always joke around and I always say like, that's when I knew he was the one, when he was like, sure,
He
we'll
said,
just drive to the vet and take
yep.
the last day of our vacation at the vet.
And then I'm sure you made many more trips after that and coordinating all these other rescues that you did
Yeah.
over the years.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He's definitely heavily involved as well. And luckily he goes along with it and is happy to.
Nice. And now you found a company that seems to believe in the same passion that you have for these animals, right? Because as you know, lost animals is a huge problem here in the US.
It really is. And that's what, my good friend Nicole from Buddha Dog, she is called on many different calls for lost animals. And, just her and I talking, she's like 80% of them are foster dogs, newly adopted dogs, rescues that no matter what we do, if we can say martingale collars, double leash, close all the doors, use baby gates, things happen. Like accidents happen. It could happen to any of us. Dogs jump a 6-foot fence. That was a senior dog that you never thought would jump a 6-foot fence. So they do things that as safe as you possibly can be and as much as you try to set everybody up for success, things happen. So I definitely think it's just such a cool program and I'm passionate about it. So it seems to work really well for all ends here because I love working with rescues and being able to give them a little bit of support. And I love waking up and hearing the stories of the rescues that I'm working with currently, where they're like, oh, Missing Dogs Massachusetts sent me this great story just the other day that one of my rescues, Brown Dog Coalition, they had a foster dog that got loose. Luckily, it was wearing the thigh collar that I had donated to them. And it had gone into this heavy, heavy, heavy brush. Like people couldn't even get through. And it was dragging its leash and it got tangled. So it was stuck there. And they never would have been able to find this dog if the tracker wasn't showing exactly where it was. They actually had to get in on their bellies and crawl through to go get it.
Wow.
So, I mean, I hear these stories every day. So that's like what keeps me going. And, I just want to spread the word that like there are these trackers, like Fi has a program for your rescues, your shelters. There's no reason why we need to be having so many lost dogs.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I mean, it's one of those things that you don't think about it until it actually happens to you.
Yeah.
And as you know, then it's too late, right? Like, so it's definitely a problem. I'm curious, Melissa, I mean, take us back to when you were working for the Sato project. I mean, if you had to go back now in a time machine and give your younger self advice, what would you tell her?
I think I would tell her to be more compassionate. I think it's easy for us to get caught up in like, oh, this person's returning a dog, or oh, this foster is not doing the right thing, like in the position that I was at, where I had 200 animals that just flew in and they were all in different areas and all the phone calls were coming to me, where I think that you can kind of get frustrated with people and you just need to be more compassionate because everyone's doing their best, I think. And if the animal's not the right fit for them and they don't want it, like, no big deal. Take it back and find a better situation for it. Don't try to play the blame game or force them to keep it or make them feel bad about anything, because it's just, there's always someone else that will be a better fit for that animal.
Yeah, this industry is so hard. It's easy to judge, and one of my favorite quotes is just be kind, because everyone you meet is battling something you know nothing about, and you don't always know the situation. And as you alluded to, I mean, not every animal bonds well. They're not the right fit. They're the right lifestyle. You just
Yeah.
so don't be judgy, right?
Yeah.
Recognize that these are people that genuinely care about animals. They want to help animals, and this isn't the right fit, or it's just not the right time, whatever it is.
Right.
But you never know, because it starts with, a positive experience. And a lot of organizations I talk to have different programs. They, try to encourage people to keep them or temporarily foster them until they can be rehomed. And usually that ends up with a good outcome.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's it. Just, being more kind to everybody and realizing that just do your best and you can always, find a different situation for that dog. I fostered a lot of dogs and, where they were biting the kids or, like situations where it was horrible. And like I bring them in here and I have kids, but my kids are very pet knowledgeable, pet savvy. They know to touch that dog. So, but then you can just give them a minute, learn more about him, and then find them like amazing homes that where he's meant to be and he's not biting kids, So I have like a wall of success stories over here. You can't see it, but of my fosters that,
Nice.
were possibly going to be considered to be euthanized, but just were in the wrong homes.
No, that's amazing. And somebody like you that's fostered that many animals over the years, I mean, you can attest to it's not as hard as people make it out to be sometimes. I mean, it seems overwhelming, right? Particularly, I mean, I saw you've done neonatal kittens. That's like the upper end, or
Yeah.
special needs fosters, but just your run-of-the-mill fosters, cats, dogs, just getting them out of the shelter, getting them into a home environment really decompresses them, and then their true personality can come out.
Oh, I'm so passionate about fostering and I just wish everybody would give it a chance because it's really just so rewarding. And yes, it's hard to let the animal go, but when you see where they're going and you get updates and it's so rewarding and you just want to keep doing it. And I foster also locally for the Newark Humane Society here. I have one of their cats right now that's super sick, and that's where I do the neonate babies for them. But I've taken some pit bulls out of there as well, and it's amazing because they're filled with pity type dogs and other amazing dogs, but lots of pity type dogs that get zero applications, get completely overlooked. And even just this is a cool story where there was a pity that was there that was overlooked for years. I took it on a 5K event. I didn't actually run the 5K, I just walked it, but I took the dog with me and we walked it, and it had 3 applications after that 5K event. So just getting them out, and like it was such a good dog, and people loved meeting it. And then I had the Adopt Me banner on it, or bandana on it, and everyone's like, I can't believe this. And 3 applications. So just from that one event that I did with that dog that had been sitting there for 2 years. So it's just such an amazing, there's so many opportunities for people to just spend a little bit of time and do something good for the animals in your community.
Yeah, I mean, I like you hear from people a lot of time, oh, I don't want to go to the Humane Society or the shelter. It's just too sad. And
Yeah.
like you said, you get the animal out of that environment. You put it a nice Adopt Me, and their true personality comes out. The animal's outside, they're with other dogs, they're with people, and then you can really see, versus if you visit them in the shelter, often they're behind a cage and they're scared and there's other dogs barking. It's just a totally different situation.
Oh, totally different. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's very loud, very a lot of energy there. So it would really be hard to see true behaviors if you're just walking through the kennels there.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about Upshot Dog Rescue, because I know you work for Sado, and then you worked with the Upshot dog people as well.
Yep. Yay. So Upshot is a rescue that when I was at the Saddle Project, I met Shar. She's the founder of Upshot. And we just bonded really quickly. We became really great friends, almost like sisters. And she started her own rescue, Upshot Dog Rescue. And so when I left the Sato project, I started helping her just really from the bottom up, develop vetting protocols, foster protocols, all the website and how we were going to do applications. So just really helped her build kind of like the whole program from the bottom up. And so, yeah, she's in Puerto Rico. She is boots on the ground, seeing animals every day on the streets. So, yeah, we always have a joke that when I'm on the phone with her and she goes, oh, shit. Nothing. But if she says that, then I know that she's seeing a dog and there's going to be a new dog in our program soon. But yeah, she definitely is in the thick of it. And then I'm just here kind of to meet her dogs on the flights once they land and help process adoption applications and get everything kind of smooth on the mainland.
I was going to say, you're doing so much. I mean, you've got a farm, you've got all your own animals on the farm, you're helping them out, you're leading the charge over there at FI to get the rescue and shelter partnerships. I mean, what does an average day look like for you?
It's pretty crazy. I'm a busy person. Up early, definitely. I am a clean freak, so I clean my house every morning before the day starts, which drives my kids nuts because I'm vacuuming at 5:30 in the morning.
Oh, sure.
But that's just the way we have to live these days. So, then we're feeding everybody. My husband luckily helps me. He does a lot of the barn chores in the morning. I do the evening because I'm getting the kids kind of ready in the morning. And then, yeah, just working 9 to 5. We always have foster animals here. So you never know what type of foster is going to be here, but we always have somebody. So it's always a little extra, a little different. Yeah, it's a busy day.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like it, but I can tell your passion for this, your passion for animals, your passion to try and help and just take things to another level really is what motivates you and gets you out of bed that early.
It does. It does. I do. I love all of it. I love working for Upshot. We really have a great relationship, a great program, really get to know our dogs and really get like very high success rate in placing them in good homes and making sure that they're trained properly before we put them up for adoption and that there's no, negative things that we need to make sure people know about. So it's a joy to work with her. I love being able to help the dogs in Puerto Rico. I'm very passionate about them. And also in the States, Newark is also a special place in my heart for they work so hard there at the shelter. And it's just such a busy shelter there. And it's a completely different program than Upshot, where we're able to kind of like pick and choose and we can, have time to take them to the vet and find foster homes and decompress, where, Newark shelter is an open intake shelter and a very, an area that really has a high number of abandoned animals. And so it's just really different, but I see how hard they're struggling. Their employees are so passionate and they're trying their hardest, but they don't have as much as like Upshot is able to do with their animals. So really supporting the rescues that are able to pull from those shelters is such a great thing to do as well, because that's one of the only ways they get some of their animals out of those shelters.
Yeah, before we start to wrap up here, Melissa, I want you to talk about FI's Give Back program, because I think that's really cool what you guys are doing as well.
Yeah, I think it's so awesome. I love telling people about it because I'm just so proud that they've created this program and they're willing to do all these donations. So it's 3 parts. We do the free FI nano microchips, so free microchips. We want every animal chipped, dog, cat. Let's keep them chipped. Let's get the owner's information registered to each chip so that if your pet does get found, it can get reunited with you. It doesn't have to go to the shelter. Oftentimes, if it's taken to the shelter, even put on a stray hold for 7 days, another animal at the other end has to be euthanized to open up a kennel spot for us to hold your animal. So definitely passionate about microchipping is so important, and they're donating them for free. So it's just amazing. There's no reason why we can't. We can support your community clinics. We can support your spay neuter vaccine. We can add the free microchips onto that. The FI collars, we donate those to your organization to use on your high flight risk dogs, your foster dogs. So if they are moving between homes or a dog day out type program where volunteers that you don't know are walking them, they can have that extra security of the GPS tracker. If they do get loose, we can find them. 15 minutes, you can find them,
Nice.
If they're super high flight risk dogs, I can't promise you that you can catch them, but at least you'll know where they're at.
You'll know where they are. You can see the little dot running away.
Yeah, you'll know where to set the feeding station and the trap up. At least you won't have to just sit around and wait for someone to see the dog. And then we also offer all the adopters a gift card to get their own FI GPS tracker and 6-month membership as a thank you for adopting. So it's
Nice.
such an amazing program, and just really it's helping to keep the animals safe that these rescues and shelters are working so hard to save every day.
Yeah, I think that is amazing, and I like the 3-pronged approach that you guys have, because like you said, I'm very passionate about microchip. Right, there's no reason you shouldn't have a microchip, and as you talked about, right, if they're a flight risk,
Yeah.
get a GPS. The technology has changed and evolved so much that there's just no reason not to do that. But cost, right? And as you know, these things can sometimes be difficult for shelters. So the fact that you guys are donating these things is just absolutely amazing. So
It really is. It's awesome. I love it. It's a great program. I'm grateful for FI to support the rescue world. And I'm happy to be here telling everybody about it, because
yeah.
no reason for any more lost dogs.
Yes, I agree. All right, we're going to transition now to our lightning round where we get to learn a little bit more about you. You ready?
I'll do my best.
You'll do your best. I promise these are easy. So you have a choice: puppy breath or kitten purrs?
Puppy breath.
Puppy breath. All right. I think I know this one: early bird or late night owl?
I'm an early bird.
Yeah,
I'm in
you
bed
and
by
I was going to say your kids would be like, she's up early.
I drive everybody nuts, but I am up early.
The most unexecutive thing you had to do this week?
Unexecutive thing.
Maybe some of your farm tasks?
Oh yeah. Well, it's mud and manure season here. So we had a lot of snow this year, and the snow is now melting. So picking up lots and lots of manure for my horses was on my task this week.
Nope, not fun. What is the one thing you do to decompress after a hard day?
CrossFit. I'm a CrossFitter. I go every day at 5:30, and it keeps me sane. And if I don't go, it's trouble.
Okay, I love that. If your pets, since I know you have multiple, if they wrote a Yelp review of you as a pet parent, how many stars do you think you'd get?
I would get 5.
Ah, nice. Very nice. They're very happy with the life that they have.
My animals have no rules. They're just completely feral creatures that do whatever they want to do and get all the treats and all the human food. So yeah.
And then my last question for you is, what do you want your legacy to be?
Oh, my legacy to be. I guess I always love, there's like a quote that I love, that you don't have to save every animal to make it matter. But the one that you did save, you really made it. It was everything to that one animal. And I feel like a lot of times we get so overwhelmed with how many animals need help. But if we can just focus on the ones that we can help and see the good and the benefit of what we did for that one animal, it really can keep you going and keep you from getting like weighted down from the weight of everything and all the animals that need help. But just focus on the one that's in front of you and do the best you can for that one.
Yeah, very much it reminds me of that starfish story, right?
Yeah.
And that's really what it is, focus on the next one that you're helping. Don't try and solve the problem all together at once, because it is overwhelming. But
So fun.
you've made a difference. Everybody makes a difference that does this, whether you're a volunteer or helping out with the website or picking up dog poop, right? Like fostering is a great way to help. So there's so many ways people can help.
There's so many ways people can help, and every organization, needs help. So if you reach out and you don't hear back, it's just because they're too busy. So don't give up. Just keep reaching out. Be persistent. It's just, we're all multitasking. We're all doing our best. Most of us have real jobs and then are doing the rescue on the side. So if you do get frustrated and you don't, I hear so many times that they applied and they didn't hear back, like, don't take it personally. It's just that we're all overwhelmed and we're doing our best.
Yeah. No, I think that's really good words. So, Melissa, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for everything you're doing. You are a badass, and it's amazing all the hard work you've put into this. So thank you for that. And I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you, Chris. I was so happy to be here. It was so much fun. You were great to talk to. And I'm just really excited that you had me on. So thank you so much.